This is a part 2 to my 400-year prophecy video that I did a few weeks back. When looking at the 400-year prophecy, it should prompt the question, why haven't the children of Israel not gone back home, since the 400 years are apparently up? There's much skepticism surrounding the validity of the 400-year prophecy, with some dismissing it. I believe that many people who dismiss the 400-year prophecy want to shield themselves from the potential disappointment. On the flip side, there are believers who are eagerly anticipating the events, seeing things that are not there, hoping to speed up the process. Both believers and skeptics of the prophecy find themselves uncertain about what truly to expect. Let's go over scriptures that deal with the 400-year prophecy so we can determine what is to be expected in the future, near and far. Let's start by reading the prophecy, Genesis chapter 15, verse 13. And he said unto Abram, Know for a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in the land that is not theirs, and they shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward they shall come out with great substance. Elohim speaks to Abram, later named Abraham, about the future of his descendants. In these verses, Elohim tells Abram that his descendants will live as strangers in a foreign land where they will be enslaved and oppressed 400 years. However, Elohim also promises that he will judge that nation that enslaved them, and ultimately Abraham's descendants will be freed and leave that land with great wealth. This passage is often interpreted as a prophecy about the Israelites' enslavement in Egypt and their subsequent exodus. The 400 years of affliction mentioned in verse 13 is seen as the period of the Israelites' enslavement, and the promise in verse 14 of liberation and leaving with great substance is viewed as Elohim's assurance of their eventual deliverance and their reward. The idea that the 400-year prophecy was fulfilled in Egypt applies to people who have not read the Bible all the way through. All the final prophecies regarding Israel and the end times surround the fulfillment of the 400-year prophecy. Isaiah chapter 60 verse 14. The sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee, and they that despise thee shall bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet, and they shall call thee the city of the Most High, Zion, the Holy One of Israel. For brass I will bring gold, and for iron I will bring silver, and for wood brass, and for stones iron. I will also make thy officers peace, and thine exactors righteous. Isaiah 60 verse 14 and 17 foretells of a future where the descendants of those who oppressed Jerusalem will come to the city in humility and respect. This verse symbolizes a reversal of fortunes, with the former oppressors acknowledging Jerusalem and the people special status as a city of the Most High, Zion, the Holy One of Israel. It's a message of hope and redemption, promising divine justice and the exaltation of Jerusalem and its people from its low state. It speaks of a transformation and glorification of Jerusalem. In verse 17, Elohim promises to replace lesser materials, brass, iron, wood, and stones, with more valuable ones, gold, silver, brass, and iron, which is what we read about in Genesis, with the people coming out with great substance. Isaiah is about the fulfillment of the 400-year prophecy. It's not what happened in Egypt. Egypt served as a preliminary trial, much like the 70 years of the Babylonian slavery. How could the 400 years of prophecy be fulfilled in Egypt if a bigger captivity predicted by Isaiah, Jeremiah, and the other prophets is going to take place? We can learn from what happened in Egypt, because what happened in Egypt will happen again, only on a larger scale. In the final captivity that we're currently experiencing will be bigger and more severe than what took place in Egypt. So what took place in Egypt? Exodus chapter 3 verse 4. And when the Most High saw that he turned aside to see, Elohim called unto him out of the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Not nigh hither, put off thy shoes from off thy feet, for the place where thou standest is holy ground. Moreover, he said, I am the Elohim of thy father, the Elohim of Abraham, the Elohim of Isaac, and the Elohim of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look on Elohim. And the Most High said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by the reason of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows. And I have come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of the land unto a good land, and large, unto a land flowing with milk and honey, unto the place of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and Amorites, and Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites. Now therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel is come up unto me, and I have also seen the oppression wherewith the Egyptians oppressed them. Exodus 3:4-9 describe a pivotal moment where Elohim speaks to Moses from a burning bush. When Moses approaches the bush, Elohim calls out to him, instructing him to remove his shoes as it is holy ground. And Elohim then identifies himself as the Elohim of his ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Then Moses hides his face. Elohim expresses his awareness of the suffering of the children of Israel and his intention to deliver them from slavery. He promises to lead them to a prosperous land, describing it as flowing with milk and honey, currently inhabited by various different groups, the Canaanites and Hittites, and etc. These verses set the stage for Moses' mission to lead the children of Israel out of Egypt, highlighting Elohim's concern for his people and his plan for his deliverance. So that's what took place in Egypt, but it was not the fulfillment of the 400-year prophecy. The 400-year prophecy is all told by Isaiah, Jeremiah, and the other prophets. So let's read Isaiah 52 verse 1. Awake, awake, put on strength, O Zion. Put on thy beautiful garments, O Jerusalem, the holy city. From henceforth thou shalt no more come into thee the uncircumcised and the unclean. Shake thyself from the dust, and sit down, O Jerusalem. Loose thyself from the bands of thy neck, O captive daughter of Zion. For thus saith the Most High, you have sold yourself for nothing, and you shall be redeemed without money. For thus saith the Most High, my people went down aforetime into Egypt to sojourn there, and the Assyrian oppressed them without cause. Now therefore, what have I here, saith the Most High, that my people is taken away for nothing, and they that rule over them make them to howl, says the Most High, and my name is continually every day blasphemed. Isaiah 52 verse 1-5 is a call for Jerusalem to awake out of sleep and to reclaim its glory and strength. This passage is a metaphor. It urges Jerusalem to dress in beautiful garments, symbolizing a revival from its state of ruin and oppression. The reverence to be no more allowing the uncircumcised and unclean people implies a future purification and restoration of the city's sacred status. Verse 2, Jerusalem is to rise from its downtrodden state and shake off the dust and to break free from its bondage, portraying the city as a captive woman who is now set free. Verse 3 emphasizes that although the people have suffered, their redemption will come freely out the need for payment, contrasting the past enslavement or subjugation where they received no benefit. Verse 4 recalls the past suffering in Egypt and later under the Assyrian rule, highlighting the unjust treatment that they have endured. Verse 5, Elohim notes that the ongoing suffering and exploitation of his people and the disrespect showed towards his name, including the awareness of their plight and the need for divine intervention. Without him, Israel cannot be delivered. Hopefully you can see the connection between what took place in Egypt and what will take place at the end of the 400-year captivity. Oppression and deliverance is the theme of this entire Bible. But should not the Israelites have left after the 400 years? The answer is no. Let's read Genesis chapter 15 verse 13. And he said unto Abram, know for a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and they shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward they will come out with great substance. This is the order, this is the timeline. After the 400 years, the nation or the bloodline the Israelites serve will get judged. How long that judgment will be, how long it will take, there's no timetable. And then after that, the Israelites will return home, not before. The nation that led them into captivity must get judged themselves. But in the meantime, while the judgment is taking place, things will get worse for the Israelites. After the 400 years, things have to get worse. That's what happened in Egypt. Exodus chapter 5 verse 1. Afterward, Moses and Aaron went into and told Pharaoh, thus saith the Most High, the Elohim of Israel, let my people go, that they may hold a feast unto me in the wilderness. And Pharaoh said, Who is the Most High, that I should obey his voice and let Israel go? I know not the Most High, neither will I let Israel go. And they said, The Elohim of the Hebrews has met with us. Let us go, we pray thee, 3 days' journey into the desert, and sacrifice unto the Most High our Elohim, lest he fall upon us with pestilence and with sword. In Exodus 5:1-3, Moses and Aaron approach Pharaoh with a message from Elohim, requesting that the Israelites be allowed to go into the wilderness to hold a feast into the honor of the Most High. Pharaoh, however, dismisses the request, questioning the authority of the Most High and expressing his willingness to let Israel go. Moses and Aaron then explain that the Elohim of the Hebrews has commanded them to go into the desert to make sacrifices to him, warning that failure would result in harm to the Israelites and Pharaoh. Moses advocates for the freedom of the Israelites. Now to verse 4. And the king of Egypt said unto them, Wherefore do ye, Moses and Aaron, let the people from their works? Get you to your burdens. Pharaoh said, Behold, the people of the land now are many, and you make them rest from their burdens. And Pharaoh commanded the same day that the taskmasters of the people and their officers, saying, Ye shall no more give the people straw to make brick. Heretofore let them go and get the straw for themselves. In verses 4-7, Pharaoh reacts negatively to Moses and Aaron's request to let the Israelites go. He accuses them of distracting the people from their work and implies that they are causing unnecessary trouble. Pharaoh observes that the Israelite population is already large and suggests that Moses and Aaron are making them idle by resting from their work, thinking that they were going to leave at that moment. So the Israelites weren't doing anything, thinking that the Most High was going to deliver them right at that moment. Responding to this perceived insubordination, Pharaoh orders harsher treatment for the Israelites. He instructs the taskmasters and the officers in charge of the Israelites' laborers to no longer supply them with straw for brickmaking, key material. Instead, the Israelites must get this straw for themselves and the same quota of brick production as before. In other words, their work is going to get harder, but they cannot diminish their production. This command significantly increases the burden or the hardship of the Israelite slaves. Instead of getting better when the Most High said he was going to deliver them, it got worse. Exodus chapter 5 verse 19. And the officers of the children of Israel did see that they were in an evil case, after it was said, Ye shall not minish aught from your bricks of your daily task. And they met Aaron and Moses, who stood in the way, and they came forth to Pharaoh. And they said unto them, The Most High look upon you and judge, because you had made our Savior to be abhorred in the eyes of Pharaoh and the eyes of his servants, to put a sword in their hand to slay us. And Moses returned unto the Most High and said, Wherefore hast thou so evil entreated this people? Why is it that thou hast sent me? For since I came to Pharaoh to speak in thy name, he has done evil to this people. Neither hast thou delivered thy people at all. In verses 19-13, the situation for the Israelites worsened following Pharaoh's decree that they must gather their own straw for brickmaking without reducing their daily quota. The officers of Israelites who are responsible for overseeing the work realize the severity of their predicament. When Moses and Aaron encountered these officers after leaving Pharaoh's presence, the officers expressed their frustration and anger towards Moses and Aaron. They blamed them for their situation, and their intervention has led to Pharaoh to make their condition even more unbearable. The officers feel that Moses and Aaron's actions are the reason for their struggle. Moses, distressed by this turn, goes to the Most High in despair. He questions why Elohim has allowed the situation of the Israelites to deteriorate since his involvement, and wonders about the purpose of his mission, as he has not seen any positive outcome from his efforts to free the Israelites. In other words, things got way worse before they were liberated. Exodus chapter 6 verse 1. And the Most High said unto Moses, Now thou shalt see what I will do to Pharaoh, for with a strong hand shall he let the people go, and with a strong hand shall he drive them out of this land. And Elohim spake to Moses, and said unto them, I am the Most High. I appeared unto Abraham, and unto Isaac, and unto Jacob by the name of Elohim Almighty, but my name Jehovah was not known unto them. And I have also established my covenant with them, to give them the land of Canaan, to the land of their pilgrimage, wherein they were strangers. And I have also heard the groaning of the children of Israel, whom the Egyptians keep in bondage. And I have remembered my covenant, Wherefore say unto the children of Israel, I am the Most High. I will bring you out from the burden of the Egyptians, and I will rid you out of their bondage, and I will redeem you with a stretched out arm and with great judgments. And I will take you to me for a people, and I will be unto you an Elohim, and you shall know that I am the Most High your Elohim, which bring you out from the burden of the Egyptians. I will bring you into the land concerning which I did swear to give it to Abraham, to Isaac, and I swore to give it to Jacob, and I will give it to you for a heritage. I am the Most High. And Moses spake unto the children of Israel, but they hearkened not unto Moses for anguish of spirit and for cruel bondage. In verses 1 through 9 in chapter 6, Elohim responds to the Israelites' worsening situation in Egypt by affirming his intention to liberate them. He promises that Pharaoh will eventually release them due to his intervention, recalling his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob to give them the land of Canaan. Elohim acknowledges the Israelites' suffering and bondage in Egypt and vows to deliver them with a significant judgment or destruction of the Egyptians. He reassures that he will take the Israelites as his people and be their Elohim, solidifying their relationship. Despite these promises, the Israelites, burdened by severe oppression and broken in spirit, are unable to believe their impending deliverance when Moses conveys this message. In other words, they've already heard this, but years have gone by and they're still in bondage, so they have no time to listen to Moses. Things were bad before Moses got there, and after the Most High came to liberate his people, things got worse. This makes no sense. What the Most High does and how he operates defies our logic and our understanding. Our ways are not his ways. I know we read this story, and in chapter 1, he sends frogs, and then in the next chapter, it's lice. It seems like it happened fast, but it was years between each plague. During these years, things got much worse, and now the 400 years are up. You should expect the same. Things will get worse. And now in verse 9, it says the children of Israel did not listen to Moses because they were in agony. Just like now, you have preachers and teachers yelling at the children of Israel behind tables for not joining their little group. But how can the majority of the children of Israel listen while they are in the middle of their suffering? Most of these groups are not offering to alleviate any of their suffering, just offering them special colored clothing. But for the children of Israel, you must prepare yourself for things to get worse. Despite the current challenges and the feeling of overwhelming difficulty, brace yourself for tougher times ahead. From my conversations and observations, I notice a common theme. Many are expecting spaceships to come and pick them up, or they are expecting to get raptured before things get bad. The truth is, things will likely get worse before the Most High closes the curtain on the show of all shows. This is the final ending. There's no more after this. This will take time. In the meantime, things will get worse. Be ready for what lies ahead. I don't know how many of you understand AI and have paid attention, but there are a few jobs that cannot be replaced by this new technology. Computers are working everything from fast food to writing computer code. You have what they call the old poor, and then you're going to have what they call the new poor. The old poor are used to the harsh realities of life, but AI and automation will be making the new poor, people who originally had good jobs, but now will lose those jobs due to automation, and things will get worse. To sum this all up, the 400-year prophecy is still fully intact. And as the Israelites in Egypt did not immediately leave, neither will we. Wishful thinking will not help. We must be prepared for things to get worse. We must make connections, join together, be prepared for things to get worse, and pray to the Most High that you are counted worthy to escape all these things and stand before the Son of Man. That's it for today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.